Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? I was probably going to make a few videos, pretty much talking about some modifications or house rules I would make to just kind of like a BX or OD&D style game that hopefully I'll be running in the future. And I've talked a lot about less is more and wine to just make the game as simple as possible. But there's some changes I wanted to make, and this video is really just about why I want to make those changes, because some of the changes I'm really looking at is in things like thief skills and just making them start a little bit at a better percentage or a better success rate than they normally would in the older games. For casters, maybe having access to some more spells initially and having a higher rate of advancement in terms of that per level. Fighters maybe having their attack bonus go up a little bit faster, and maybe just having saves kind of go up a little bit faster than they normally would, than you'd think of. The reason for that is this: I'm not young anymore, and it's not the 70s or 80s. There's a small group of people that are gamers that we can kind of draw on. I'm sure a lot of us, a lot of you have found that it's tough to find people to play with, and then if you want to play a certain genre, especially an older genre, then that group of people gets smaller. And back in the day, I didn't have a heck of a lot to do. Now I have a life, and so time is precious. And so when we get together to game, we're not going to have as much time, and I want to make the most of that. And it seems to be there's a kind of a sweet spot in terms of character level. Where maybe the first 10 levels might, that's probably where most of the play is going to happen, because we're not going to have the time to play this thing 2 or 3 times a week and play it for years and years and years. Maybe we'll play a game for about a year or two. And so, we ought to be able to have a little bit of fun with that. And I'm not talking about having a kind of superheroish or munchkinish or whatever you want to call it game where everybody starts out with a lot of powers, and it becomes a little bit more of a parody of what you would think old school gaming would be. But once again, we're not going to spend as much time playing as we used to. So I kind of want to have people have a little bit more access to some things that are a little bit more fun, and maybe their characters advance just a little bit faster than you would normally think of in terms of maybe how many sessions it takes to level up, but maybe they have access to a few extra spells or what have you. And of course, the caveat is I don't want it to become unbalanced, or for it to become too much of a Monty Hole or whatever you want to call it sort of campaign where people are just getting too much and it becomes a bit of a parody of the game. But that's the reason. So if you're gonna throw rocks at me for making some of these changes or talking about some of these possible changes, well, here's why. Because once again, time is precious, so I want to make the most out of it.